Pedestrian on the water, but we breathe every day. Your Honor, them indict we for standing up against the harmful stereotypes that have been perpetrated against the men. I come here to represent myself and a few. We living in a century where we living on lies. Society set the hurdles and we have to comply. We gonna pay with dues, we don't get reviews. Not for we get broken and we fall into the news. But it's here all the brothers say we gonna take a stand. Representing hope, rebuilding the brand. We gonna take a brother hand in hand. Empower, elevate every boy, every man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my light slowly. Look close, you're gonna see a better man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my light slowly. Look close, my friend. I have a right, I have a right, I have a voice, I have a voice. Make it right, make it right. We don't have to fight this. I have a right, I have a right, I have a voice, I have a voice. Make it right, make it right. We don't have to fight this. My brother said we here for you. I understand the struggle cause I've been there too. No definition that could come by you. All the belly meant a pain that they put we through. But look up on the horizon. See mankind winning and rising. Rejecting, coming and fighting. Oh Lord, this is so exciting. Learn me. I just want to reveal my light slowly. Look close, you're gonna see a better man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my light slowly. Look close, my friend. I have a right, I have a right, I have a voice, I have a voice. Make it right, make it right. We don't have to fight this. I have a right, I have a right, I have a voice, I have a voice. Make it right, make it right. We don't have to fight this. We living in a century where we living on lies. Society set the hurdles and we have to comply. We gonna pay with dues, we don't get reviews. Not for we get broken and we fall into the news. But it's here all the brothers say we gonna take a stand. Representing hope, rebuilding the brand. We gonna take a brother hand in hand. Empower, elevate every boy, every man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my light slowly. Look close, you're gonna see a better man. Learn me. I just want to reveal my light slowly. Look close, my friend. I have a right, I have a right, I have a voice, I have a voice. Make it right, make it right. We don't have to fight this. I have a right, I have a right, I have a voice, I have a voice. Make it right, make it right. We don't have to fight this. Yeah, yeah. Jack production. We don't play. You've been faithful, love. You've been faithful.
Oh Lord, I'm glad you know my name. You set my heart aflame. You set my feet on a solid rock to stay. I'm glad I've made this choice. You've given me a voice, and now I can rejoice.
Watching cool move, they call me Mr. Diligent. When me meet a please the Lord, I'm dining with the president. Thankful for my warriors who pray me through the testament. Calling on my warriors, calling on my warriors. Everything me put me hands to doing it full 100. Time to praise the Lord, we say we praising him full 100. Working in the ministry, we working it full 100. Working it full 100, working it full 100. Everything we put we hands to doing it full 100. Time to praise the Lord, we say we praising him full 100. Working in the ministry, we working it full 100. Working it full 100. Working it full 100.
Oh Lord, I'm glad you know my name. You set my heart aflame. You set my feet on a solid rock to stay. I'm glad I've made this choice. You've given me a voice, and now I can rejoice.
DJ, turn that music up, yes, turn it up louder. Never make it stop. Take get the message to the border. This is how we do it, cause we talk the truth to power. Walking in the spirit, walking in the water. Happy that we blessed. Full 100, walking in forgiveness. Full 100, healing from disease. Full 100, totally redeemed. Full 100, strength of the youth. Full 100, friendly with the truth. Full 100, free from oppression. Full 100, always on a mission. Full 100.
Lord, I'm glad you know my name. You set my heart aflame. You set my feet on a solid rock to stay. I'm glad I've made this choice. You've given me a voice, and now I can rejoice.
Watch this groove. They call me Mr. Diligent. When me ways are please the Lord, I'm dining with the president. Thankful for the warriors who praise me through the testament. Praise me through the testament. Praise me through the testament. Everything we put we have to doing it full 100. Time to praise the Lord, we say we praising him full 100. Working in the ministry, we working it full 100. Working it full 100. Working it full 100. Everything we put we have to doing it full 100. Time to praise the Lord, we say we praising him full 100. Working in the ministry, we working it full 100. Working it full 100. Working it full 100.
Lord, I'm glad you know my name. You set my heart aflame. You set my feet on a solid rock to stay. I'm glad I've made this choice. You've given me a voice, and now I can rejoice.
Hello, good evening, good evening, good evening. Well, no, you are not imagining things. This is not Thursday, this is Monday. Monday, yep, it is the 26th of, whatever it is. Alright, it's Monday the 26th of January 2026. It is a special episode only because we just started back the program last week Thursday. And I felt bad that we have to shelve it on Thursday because I'm out of the country. I'm in lovely Guyana. This lovely place, met some wonderful people. I want to say thank you to people like Sister Sandra Lamb, who has been such a great support to me. She takes care of me whenever I'm in Guyana here. So I thank her so much, and all of the lovely people who have been doing such great things for me. Audrey, and too many names to mention, Umada and so on. Alright, so thank you all so much. So because I'll be traveling to get back home on Thursday and I would not be on it, and because we just started it back, I felt bad that we gave half of a program last week, and so this is the other half. So I thought of doing this for this evening. So I'm sure that there are going to be some people on who probably don't know about Mike Nite. This is not the normal Monday, but let me just welcome you to be on board. Let me just say hello to some of the people that are there. Nicole Guy, I really like this song. Where can I purchase it? Which one of the songs, Nicole? Is about 3 songs you listen to. Alright, but nice having you, Nicole. Michelle Nicholson, hey, good evening to you. Nice seeing you on. My sister Diane also. Yes, all the rock and come in. Share the live now, share the live. That is what you could do to assist this program, just by sharing the live on your page, or liking the page, subscribing to the page, so that whenever we go live, you know that we're on. Tonya Richards, good evening to you. Nice having you on. We're going to just give a recap of last week. The things you must do, questions you must ask before you quit a relationship, do not just walk out on this thing just because you're upset with somebody or something. Marriage should not be entered into unadvisedly. It should not be taken lightly. But the same way how we enter it with advice, we should not leave it without advice. Take my word of that for that. All right. So before we get that going, let me just tell you some things that are going on at the moment. You know that we have a program, a virtual workshop that is being promoted. Let me just let you hear about that and make sure you register now.
Okay, yes, I understand. Okay. Hey, I'll call you back. Hi there. Welcome. My name is Michael Stewart. I'm a relationship coach. And we have a wonderful program coming up on the 7th of February. It's a virtual program, so any part of the world you can join it. It deals with the 5 stages of relationships. Why 5? Well, I don't know, but that's what the science says. Every relationship goes through 5 stages. So, as a relationship coach, I have been married. This year will be 40 years. You heard right, 40 years. And so I wrote books on relationships, and I have a book called The 7 Keys to Unlock the Mystery of Men. Yes, so there are a number of books that I have on this matter. But on the 7th of February, it's a free introductory course. This program will introduce you to the 5 stages, but we will do the program itself the following week. But this introductory course will give you a taste of it. Most people leave on the 3rd stage, and they come out of it and enter a new relationship and then realize that they have to go through all 5 stages once more again. If you don't get past stage 3, you'll be running your life in circles. So it's a free introductory course. If you want to log on, you can be registered by going on to my website, www.michaelatstewart.com. Let me say that again, www.michaelatstewart.com. Or click the link below and you will be registered. See you there.
All right, you heard the gentleman. Don't stick. We've had a number of people who have already registered. You need to be part of it. You know, one of the things is that we have people who are so much of procrastinators. You know, they plan to register in it, but then by the time I come around to it, I forgot it, or then the date passed and so on. That's how some people run their life. Just by procrastinating, always looking back and say, I shoulda, don't you be one. Make sure you go and register. The address to register is right up there, www.michaelatstewart.com. You've got to put in the AT. Alright? So once you do that, you can register and be part of it. And it is, if I'm not mistaken, that is not this Saturday, it is the next Saturday after this one. Alright? So you need to make sure that you register early for it. Okay, all right. Having said that, now let's get down to some business. There are some questions that you need to ask yourself before you leave relationships. People go in and they come out. They go in, they come out. The average person, sometimes some people have as many as 20 relationships they've been in, and then they turn around and say, "A relationship not for me now. That it can't work." All right. But before you leave, ask yourself the question, and that program that we're talking about that is going to come up on the 7th is going to help people to stop going in this revolving door, because every time you go in, you stay a couple months, a couple years in a relationship, you've lost time, you're getting older, and you're getting older and the relationship never made any sense to you. So by the time you're ready to settle down, you're really settling down with too much baggage, too much history. So it's best that you do it right from the onset. Okay? So having said that, there are some questions that you must ask. And so let's go to some of those questions that a person must ask themselves. And we'll just do a quick recap from last week. You must ask yourself, what exactly is the problem? The reason why this is so crucial is because as a counselor myself, I have met so many people who did not have a clue as to as to why they are leaving. They just know, I'm not happy. I just something about they are just not happy and so on. But that is not enough for you to be able to just leave a relationship just because you don't know. Do you get a job and tell yourself in the job that you just don't know why you're resigning, and you have bills to pay, you have family to mind and so on, and you just leave because somehow the other I ain't cutting it? No, you got to be serious enough. What exactly are you living? Is it because of a behavior of the person? What is that behavior? And is the behavior inimical to you? Or is it just a bad behavior, bad manners, the person never on time, the person procrastinates too much? Those are character issues. Those are behavioral issues, actually, not really character. They are behavioral issues. But character issues are issues of honesty and lying and cheating and so on. Those are character issues. But everybody would have a little behavior issue. They burn the food every time. But that is not a character issue. That's more or less from a standpoint of a personal issue. And so, is it because of character that they have a character where they tell you something and they are constantly lying? Is it because they're cheating? Is it because they're living a two-tongue life and so on? Or is it because of compatibility? Because that's also another reason that some people live. We are not compatible. If you are not compatible, what makes you incompatible? What exactly it is that makes you incompatible? Just because you don't like the same movies that they like, you don't like the same friends that they like, is that what is the grounds for your incompatibility? Then maybe you need to ask yourself, do you really have a good grounds to leave? You see, the reason why this is so important is that so many people say that they're having problems, but they never can be able to define that problem too often. And if you can't name the issue, you may end the marriage or the relationship without even addressing what truly affects you. So you're not getting healing because you have not told the doctor exactly what your illness is or what is the pain or where the pain is. If you keep holding back things from yourself, then you can't really solve it. You get that? So that is what number one that we said. So number two, what we said also is that, is the relationship, these are questions you must ask yourself, is the relationship unsafe? Or is it simply that you're unhappy? Now, I have a position, personal position, that not many people or most people may not subscribe to that position. Don't get married for happiness. I think that's a mistake that people make. They are looking for happiness and they look to get married. Don't apply for a job to be happy. You'll disappoint yourself. You'll disappoint yourself because that job will have some people working on it that you really can't get along with. You'll have a boss that is going to really push your buttons. But do you really resign because you're not happy? What are you going to tell the bank? You understand? You know why we stay in jobs that we are not happy in? Because there's a bigger purpose. That's why you stay. The purpose. There is a bigger purpose and a bigger calling. I have a family to feed. I plan to buy a house. I plan to be able to do certain things with my life, to study and so on. And I'm going to stay here because I have to study and so on. But this job has a purpose in my life. Anything you enter a relationship for and it is gone, you will leave it. So if you entered for happiness and happiness does not come your way, you will leave it. If you entered for money and the person goes broke, you will leave it. If you entered because of looks and the person got in an accident and they don't look so nice again, they put on weight or they take off weight or they don't have the shape again or whatever it is. If that is what you entered it for and it goes, it goes. But your purpose, if your purpose is, I want a family, I want to be able to be in a relationship where we both support each other and so on, and those purposes are there, you are going to stay. The person would go through an accident, the person would lose their shape, the person would not be as they knew them when they were in their teens, etc. But that doesn't matter because the purpose is still there. You understand? So Is the relationship unsafe? Is there abuse taking place? Why is it important? Because there is a major difference between a marriage that is dangerous, abuse, threats, and so on, and with what going on with gun violence, etc. One can understand. So you don't take chances with that. But for issues of we don't see eye to eye, we quarrel a lot, that's not wrong. What you need there is help to be able to maneuver and meander through the issues that you're having. So unhappiness requires. And that's why if you look at the top there, you'll see that there's a telephone number there in which we provide private, confidential counseling to people who need it. People get sick. Don't tell nobody that they're ill. While the sickness gets worse, by the time they call for a doctor, it is too far gone. And the doctor says, I cannot help you. You should have come before. Hiding the struggles you're going through is not helping you. Get help. And there are times, particularly with men, the woman would be saying, let's go and get help. Let's go and get counseling. And the man would figure, no man could tell me how to run my life. Of course not. But let the woman pack up and leave now. The man is not willing to come and get help. You know, it's a long time now. My wife telling me we should come and get help. But now she leave and so on. But I'm trying to see if I could stay back my marriage. You wait for long. Don't do that. So, once you see that you need help, get the help so that you can be able to deal with the issues that come up that does not threaten the relationship, because many times the relationship itself can be preserved. Alright? How are we going? I hope we're going good. Now, I like to read the comments from people. I want to see the questions that you all have. Even if you don't have a question, you have a comment to say or to put your own spin on things, feel free to do that by putting it in the chat. Particularly on the Facebook, because it's hard to monitor both Facebook and the YouTube. Okay? So, if you just joined us, forgive my lighting. I don't have my usual lighting. I am in a hotel in Guyana. A lovely, awesome place called Guyana. The people are so friendly. It's amazing. Yeah? And helpful. They don't even know you. You're walking on the streets. They just nice. You must visit this place. Alright? So I don't have my lighting and all of that. I don't know even, I hope the sound is coming across well still. But we're going to make do. Alright, so let me see if we could determine, let me just see if there's anybody with any comments that they're making there so far. Sheila Thomas, welcome. Lisa, good evening to you. Omadara, nice having you on. Omadara is from Guyana. Sandra Lam also, who's on, is from Guyana. All my Guyana posses. Anybody on Guyana, all you put up all a hand. Tonya Richards. Yes. Good day. Nice having you, Tonya. Hey. Alright. Nice. Alright, so we're down to two. I think it's two reasons I've given so far. So let's go to the third reason. As to questions that you must ask before you leave the relationship. Have I communicated clearly? And have I been consistent? Because you may have said it once, but you may not have repeated it. And people don't like to repeat it, but in relationships, you've got to repeat some stuff. Without nagging and without being a bother. But you need to be able to say something and be consistent with it. And you must be clear with it. And you must be respectful in saying it. You can't shout it and say, but I tell them, but whenever you say it, you were shouting. When you shout, people miss the message and they deal with how they feel by what you were saying. And that does not augur well for the relationship. I know of people who they go home on a normal day and the house is empty, spouse has left, packed up, loaded everything and left. And sometimes you would ask the person who remains, um, so what was going on? Nothing, Mr. Stewart. Life was normal. And they left. Now there are two things that has happened there. Sometimes the person had shut down, is what we call stonewalling. They began to stonewall and they shut down themselves. They're not talking anymore. They felt that they've spoken enough, and because they stopped talking, you can't remember that 3 months ago they were telling you this, and you thought that the fact that they stopped talking, that things had settled. No, they felt that they were making no more sense talking to you. So they did their part, but you were not listening. But on the other hand, you also have some people who never said what they were going through and just pick up and leave. Because they felt, you should have known. You should know me. We're together long enough. You should know me. No, you need to say. Why? Because some relationship collapse because one of the partners expected change without having to say, without direct conversation. And if you never clearly express your needs, what you want, because what you want may not be what the person was giving. The person was giving you something thinking that you would appreciate it, but that's not what you wanted. So we have in one of my books called The 7 Keys to Unlock the Mystery of Men, we were talking about sometimes, no, that was the book that I wrote on 4 reasons why relationships fail. And one of it was mixed expectations. What I expected in the relationship, I never communicated that to you, so you never gave it. And what you expected, you never communicated to me, so I never got it. I just gave what I thought every woman wanted. You gave what you thought every man wanted. And we missed the mark. Okay? So, remember that. Hey, share the live now, people. Tell somebody that we're on, call them, bring them on board, and tell them Mike at Night is on Monday. Right? Today Monday. We'll be back after this, probably next week, back to the Thursday. Alright? So, communicate clearly. Sit down calmly and say to the person how you feel. Don't blame them. Say how you feel. You just never have time for me, is what we tend to say. That's a blame. I would like to spend more time with you. I'd like us to go out more often. It's not blaming. It is calling them for the very thing that you want without having to let the person feel that they have to defend themselves from a personal verbal attack. Right? And at another time, because we've dealt with it in past programs, the way how we say things goes against what we actually want as a result. Because we put in too much emotion into it, we put in too much feeling into it, and the person is going to feel attack and will make a defense against that. Alright? So, number 4. Have we made genuine attempts to repair this relationship? Genuine attempts. Some people say that the person they're with, they don't want the relationship, they're not trying, when they themselves don't want the relationship itself either, or the other person never said that they didn't want it. They are actually doing that. So, have you genuinely expressed that? I've met people in sessions after we working for weeks to bring resolution. They will come up with a new reason why this relationship is so stressful. And when you resolve that and the person said, okay, I'm going to change that, I'm going to come home more often, I'm going to spend more time with the children, I'm going to drop them to school, and the person making all the adjustments, the person would come up with another thing. And then after you pull this person aside privately and you ask them, do you really want this relationship? They say, no, Mr. Stewart, I really don't want the relationship. I already give up with that. Yeah? But they would, so they go into, say, why did you do this? Why is it you're paying to come and do all of this and so on? And then sometimes they would actually tell you, because the court would want mediation before they go and make attempt for divorce. So they're just going through the motion, unfortunately. Or sometimes they just want the family to see that they were trying, the in-laws, because you will have this whole issue about the in-laws and so on. So I want my in-laws to see that I was trying and their son or their daughter wasn't making the effort. A lot of games. So, complaining is not repairing. Repair requires action. And that's why get counseling, become accountable, develop new habits, set boundaries for the relationship, schedule where you're going to have some of those hard talks, because you need to have some of those hard talks, but you don't have to make the talk hard, but you need to have the hard talks, and rebuild trust step by step, because many times the trust is broken. So that was number 4. And number 5, am I leaving to escape pain, is the question they're going to ask. Or am I leaving because I've reached wisdom or wise clarity? This is what this means. One is, I'm tired, I've been hurt too often, and so I'm running from pain. Or I've sat down and thought it through, and when I look at it, this relationship does not make sense. I have looked at it, I've done the work, I've done my adjustments, I've done the talk, I've done everything, and I realize this is not the right relationship for me. Especially if you are courting and you're not married, it is a wise thing to therefore make that decision and move on from that time. Why is that so? Because decisions made in emotional desperation, if you don't think it through properly and you're emotionally charged, you often regret it. I'm telling you, there are people who divorce and start another relationship, and the other person may have remarried, and they are courting behind the backs of their spouses with the person that they left. You know how many people go back to exes? Why is it they're going back to exes? Because they left because they were trying to escape pain, but they were not in clarity. When you reach a situation that a woman leaves a man, the man gets married, and she becomes pregnant for him while he's married to somebody else. This was her husband that she is now pregnant for as a child father, as an outside woman. You see the confusion? And I'm telling you, those are things that actually happen. That's the confusion in life. So, you must have wise clarity. Okay, so that's the recap. Before we go on, let me see. Any question, please, people? Put your question and your comments. Lawrence Plament, good evening. Nice having you. You log on late. You need to sit down in the back of the class because class started 8 o'clock sharp. But making sure with that. Frida Leaks, United States in the house. Nicely. Thank you very much. Welcome. My good friend Lisa said communication is very key to a stable relationship. It is the only way to bring understanding. It is. So we've got to learn how to communicate, how to be able to express ourselves. Yes, nice. Rock and come in. Have a seat, Tonya. Nice having you. Umadara. Yes, I missed seeing you today, but I guess I'll see you before I leave Guyana. Okay, Nicole, the full 100 song. Yeah, that song is a good song. It's a nice song by Ted. I don't know where you post it. I'll find out from Ted, or if you know Ted's number, you can find out and we could help you to get that. Alright, so we're into the next part of it now. So before we do that, let me just ask people to go and make sure you register. While this program is going on, you can actually go across to my website.
Yes, I understand. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, I'll call you back. Hi there. Welcome. My name is Michael Stewart. I'm a relationship coach. And we have a wonderful program coming up on the 7th of February. It's a virtual program, so any part of the world you can join it. It deals with the 5 stages of relationships. Why 5? Well, I don't know, but that's what the science says. Every relationship goes through 5 stages. So, as a relationship coach, I have been married. This year will be 40 years. You heard right, 40 years. And so I wrote books on relationships, and I have a book called The 7 Keys to Unlock the Mystery of Men. Yes, so there are a number of books that I have on this matter. But on the 7th of February, it's a free introductory course. This program will introduce you to the 5 stages, but we will do the program itself the following week. But this introductory course will give you a taste of it. Most people leave on the 3rd stage and they come out of it and enter a new relationship and then realize that they have to go through all 5 stages once more again. If you don't get past stage 3, you'll be running your life in circles. So it's a free introductory course. If you want to log on, you can be registered by going on to my website, www.michaelatstewart.com. Let me say that again, www.michaelatstewart.com. Or click the link below and you will be registered. See you there.
All right, you all heard it. Make sure you register. Make sure you register. Go and register now. You procrastinators, register now. You have nothing to lose. It's free. Yeah. But it will inspire you for when we have the course the following week for the full details of the course. Right? But at least come on board and listen. All right. Let's go ahead now and give you this week's 6. For those who just joined us, this is Mike Nite, a special episode because we will not be able to transmit on Thursday, but we wanted to complete what we started last week. So this is the part 2 of what we started. The question that you must ask before you leave a relationship, you must have answers for. So number 6, because we did 5 last week. What part of this breakdown that is taking place between myself and the spouse am I responsible for? And have I owned up to it? It is difficult for people to see their own faults. Most people think that they are better than they really are. The Bible says, a man ought not to think of himself more highly than he should, because there's a tendency to think of ourselves higher. There are some people who think of themselves too lowly. So you have to find the right appreciation for you. So you have to ask yourself, if there is a breakdown in a relationship between 2 people, most times from my experience, both contributed to the breakdown. One by the act of commission, they did something that caused the relationship to go into crisis. And the other by the act of omission, which means they failed to do something that they should have done to mitigate against what was going on in the relationship, to reduce the impact. It is like a car careening down the road. It is driving on the wrong side of the road. The person is drunk and they're swerving the road. So they're on your side now driving. When they crash into you, they have committed an act. That is the act of commission, because they did something that was wrong that caused the accident. But you know, if you really saw that vehicle coming and you did nothing to avert, to evade, to mitigate against the accident, you didn't pull off, you're there busy with yourself, so self-righteous. You see me, I on my right side, he better go on his side, and you just driving so, and you did not swerve. You did not try to avoid the accident. You did nothing to avoid it. You could now have contributory negligence, failing to act. And in a relationship, sometimes some people fail to take evasive actions for what's going on in the relationship, because they are too much into themselves that they are not wrong. They're saying the right things, but you may be saying the right things the wrong way. You may be being disrespectful in the way you're saying it. You may be too harsh, too unfeeling in what you're doing. So you may not have done something with this person. Let's say the other person is the one who is doing the act. You didn't do something to counter their behavior by being calmer. What sometimes we do is that they shout, I shout louder. They cuss me, I cuss them worse bad way. And we think it's them started. Okay? So we both become wrong in this situation. So I need to own up to my part. You know, when we started to quarrel, I should not have said the things that I told you. You didn't start the quarrel, you know, it's them started. But own yours. Okay? What is it you took responsibility for? But thinking that you could make the person 100% wrong for what they're doing is not going to help you, right? So if one spouse is more at fault, even if they are more at fault, self-awareness. Self-awareness. If you leave without recognizing your contribution, you may repeat the same patterns in your next relationship. So might as well get it fixed here. But a lot of people are not self-aware. They're not really in tune to their own thinking. And why I need to just stay a little bit on this. There's something called the Duncan-Kruger effect. Duncan-Kruger effect. What that is when somebody not really being in reality in their thinking, they have a false concept of things. That word came from, and if I remember the situation right, a gentleman robbed 3 banks, one after the next, and went home. Soon after he got home, the police was at his door. And he asked the police, how did you all find me? And so quickly. They said, well, we saw you on the monitors, the cameras, the security cameras. He said, but that can't be, because you're not supposed to see me. They said, how come? He said, because he put lemon juice on his face. He was of the impression, if you put lemon juice on your face, security cameras can't pick you up. So that's where they came up with this thing from Mr. Kruger. They call it the Duncan-Kruger effect. He's not in reality to recognize that his thinking isn't settled to be able to see that they would still see you. So in his head, he was masked. But in reality, other people see him. And there are some people cannot see themselves. We see you. We know your flaws. We know your issues. We know you need help. But you can't see. Duncan-Kruger. You know of anybody like that? Call them. Tell them, listen to the program called Mike Nite. Alright? So, Anne-Marie Buffett, you're coming late in my class. You and Solange Kwaku, you're coming in late. There's a punishment for that. Alright? So, alright, so let's continue now. So, if your spouse is not aware, or you are not aware, you should become aware of where your own fault is. And if you leave without recognizing your fault, you're just going to carry that same situation in the next relationship. Number 7. If your spouse changed tomorrow, that is the question you have to ask. These are questions you ask yourself before you actually walk out of the relationship. If your spouse changed tomorrow, would you still want to remain in the relationship. If they change, the things you're complaining about, they stop doing. The things they would like them to start doing, they start doing. If they change, would I stay? Why do you need that? Because this question reveals whether the marriage is dying because of a behavior, or whether you have lost love and connectivity and intimacy in the relationship in the first place. You've lost the desire. And so, whether or not they change, even though you're saying that they need to change and they need to think, you really don't want it. So you must know for sure whether there is a balm of Gideon that will assist in restoring and healing the relationship, or whether this is a sore foot that would not be healed and you are going to leave anyway. But you must come clean, right? Because sometimes the person is making all the efforts to get you back and you have no intentions of coming back. Yeah? Well, we don't go nowhere. Alright, so they're taking it all over the place, spending money and so on, and you still plan on leaving. You're not going to be satisfied at all anyway with whatever is done. Number 8, the question that you must ask: what will divorce or separation cost me? What will divorce or separation cost me? It is not if it will cost me. It will cost you. You asking, I've seen where people are in relationship asking for a certain amount of money for maintenance and so on. And they go to the court for divorce because of money issues. And they pay the lawyer 3 and 4 times more than the money they could have used in that same relationship. Follow doubt me? And I'm being very conservative when I say 3 and 4 times. Sometimes it's much more than that. It will cost you financially, tremendously, when that, and courts, some lawyers, I know we have a legal mind on the program, so let me tread carefully now. Some lawyers want the divorce to be as volatile as possible, because the more volatile it is the longer it takes to resolve, and the tag keeps going on. The longer it stays in the court, the tag keeps going on. It is in their interest for you to ask someone reasonable things. Some people say, listen, I don't want anything, I just want to leave. And they will encourage you to fight for something, because some of, not all lawyers, not all legal person now, that's my caveat. But some of them want you to fight it out. They want you to leave as bitter as possible, so that the next side would fight also, and then we know you have that whole back and forth and negotiation coming along. And then you go off smiling, you go on off bitter. Right? So what is it costing you? So it's going to cost you financially, but it's going to also cost you emotionally. It's going to cost you emotionally because some children are affected almost irretrievably from the divorce that takes place, from the separation that takes place. And it shows up when they grow up and they start their own relationships. So while you think you are doing it because you are unhappy and you can't stand it and you want a little peace and happiness in it in your head, there's a cost, an emotional cost. I've known of people who would tell me, I can't wait for my divorce. I know what's taking so long. I say, well, you know, it's not as easy. Now that you want it, you'll be anxious for it. But sometimes the feelings change when you get it. Nah, man, you know, long, I in this thing here too long and I'm unhappy and so on. And I've known of people who call me when the gavel drop and they get the final part of the divorce, break down and cry, when they actually know this relationship is now over. And I remember asking one person, is it that you are crying because of happiness that you finally ended? They say, no, I'm crying because I never thought I'd get here. And now I'm looking back, I'm wondering, did I do the right thing? They were so busy wanting the divorce, they didn't take time off to really examine themselves if this is what they actually want. Yeah. I know of a gentleman, he married the same woman twice. You see? You're left, and then tell us, oh, she mocks. This is not what I wanted. So it is going to cost. It's going to cost socially too, because when you're in a relationship, and money spins in a relationship between a man and a woman, now that you're separated, you have to buy a fridge. You have to buy a fridge for 2 houses, or part of the payment for next house. So you have 2 places paying rent, 2 sets of furniture, 2 sets of everything, and you have to pay half of it, and the person has to be fighting you for the next half, and they have to go into court and be done. That's a stressful thing. You ask anybody who divorced and still want alimony and want child support and so on. It's a stressful thing. It's costing you, and you have to say, was this stress even worth it? Sometimes healing, mending, and resolution is an easier method. But, we follow our emotions. So why is this important? Many people count the cost too late. Separation is not only about freedom. Remember that. It often includes grief, loneliness, divided parenting for the children, legal battles, financial pressure, and social fallout. I have seen people, their personality change from a smiling, happy person to a sad person. And you would think it's because of the relationship they're in. They are in that state after they leave. And then they realize life is lonely. Alright? Number 9. Have you explored, this is the question you ask before you leave, have you explored help, structured help, counseling, mentorship? Have you gotten the help that you need? Have you gone to your preacher to get some sort of spiritual support? Always go to a doctor if you're sick. Don't self-medicate, because the same mindset that caused a problem cannot be the same mindset that solves it. You were in that situation for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You are stressed out and the relationship is in crisis. Why do you think you're in a position to solve it yourself? Because I don't want people to know my business. Well, there's some sickness that is embarrassing and you have to go up to the hospital there and face the embarrassment, but to get the healing that you need. Yes? So some marriages don't need to be going through divorce. I have seen so many couples that could make it, that walked out, and I've seen some people who changed their mind after they got counseling, and they live happily ever after. And they help other people after that. And that's what we do. Look the number on top there. 868-480-0080 for private counseling, regardless of which part of the world you are in. We can do it virtually, we can do it WhatsApp, Zoom, Team, a number of ways that you could do it. And we also do face-to-face for those who wish to get the help. Alright, so we are number 9, so we're down to the final one. We're making good time. The question that you ask before you leave it: what story will my children or family experience because of the decision I am making? What story will my children or my family experience because of the decision that I am making? And this would go more than one way, because a listener man on Facebook, a young man on Facebook, said that he grew up hating his father. because he was under the impression his father had abandoned his mother. And that's the impression he said he got from his mother. That his father was a no good and didn't support and he left and so on. And so he sucked that all in and he hated his father. And then when he grew up, he recognized that wasn't the story. No wonder he did not have his father's number, because she wouldn't give him it. She prevented him from contacting the father. Now that he's of age, he's a young man on Facebook now, and he's saying, having now known the story and met his father, he recognized the story was not true, and he resents his mother for it. But here's what he says: it still hurts because I feel my father did not fight hard enough. So he has a problem with his mother, he has a problem with his father. This is not an issue for a young person to go through. That's the story that they end up getting because of issues that we have as adults. And children should not have to go through that. They should not. I've always spoken about this issue on my program, where this 13-year-old girl said to me that she went through the community where she lives and walked and asking people who renting apartments, 13 years old, and she found one. And she came back and told her parents, told her father, that she found a place to rent along the same street where they live with the mother, so that the father does not have to go far away. He can come and live right next door there and rent that so that she can still see him every so often. Why should a 13-year-old child have to do an adult thing like that? Could you imagine the thought process that he had to go through to work that out? To sit down and plot that how can I get mom and dad to still stay connected, that I could have access to both of them, and to actually go out there and do that. That had to take nights awake, lying down in bed working out, to come and tell him that. Why should a child have to do that? What's the story she has in her head? These experiences are painful for children. So don't just leave just so thinking that you're doing the children a favor. You are hurting them because you might not like the child's mother. You might not like the child's father. But the child loves both of us. Both of you all. They always do. Most times they do. The hate comes from us, putting hatred into their hearts. But the child loves both. And the child does not understand from a child's mind, I love mommy, I love daddy. How come mommy and daddy cannot love each other? You understand? So children don't experience divorce legally. They experience it emotionally. So some divorces, yes, they do protect the child because there's some measure of hard abuse taking place. Some of them incestuous and so on. So divorce may protect a child or something that may be going in there, or separation may protect the child. But some traumatize them unnecessarily. And the question focuses you on consider the impact, not just your relief. And of course, those in the Christian community recognize the difference between separation and divorce, right? And so you need to be able to make your decision accordingly. And if you are single, you have more latitude to make your decisions before you get into a marital relationship, because a marital relationship is a covenant. All right, so bang on the dot, be down to 8 o'clock. So let me just once again tell you to go and sign up.
Okay, yes, I understand. Okay. Hey, I'll call you back. Hi there. Welcome. My name is Michael Stewart. I'm a relationship coach. And we have a wonderful program coming up on the 7th of February. It's a virtual program, so any part of the world you can join it. It deals with the 5 stages of relationships. Why five? Well, I don't know, but that's what the science says. Every relationship goes through five stages. So, as a relationship coach, I have been married this year will be 40 years. You heard right? 40 years. And so I wrote books on relationships, and I have a book called The Seven Keys to Unlock the Mystery of Men. Yes, so there are a number of books that I have on this matter. But on the 7th of February, it's a free introductory course. This program will introduce you to the five stages, but we will do the program itself the following week. But this introductory course will give you a taste of it. Most people leave on the third stage and they come out of it and enter a new relationship and then realize that they have to go through all five stages once more again. If you don't get past stage 3, you'll be running your life in circles. So it's a free introductory course. If you want to log on, you can be registered by going on to my website, www.michaelatstewart.com. Let me say that again, www.michaelatstewart.com. Or click the link below and you will be registered. See you there.
So take the advice, don't procrastinate now. That guy knows what he's saying. Alright, so that brings us down to the end of the program. As we said, this is a special edition because we will not be broadcasting on Thursday. So thank you very much for joining us. Let me take Kenneth Hodge. My apologies, my boy. We put out the advertisement there. Sorry that you didn't see it. I hope that you get a chance to look at the rerun. You didn't know that we were on. I think that a lot of people may not have known. Joanne Benjamin, good evening. Rakan Kamin. Yeah, Umadara says so true because of your mindset. It's all about understanding each other and respecting each other. Lawrence Flement, marriage reminds me of a ship that is out at sea, going to and fro, and there comes a time when you need to dry dock for maintenance, cleaning off barnacles, rust, and other things that need serious attention. Exactly. To be made seaworthy so that it is once more reliable to be of service. The same applies in marriage. And that's why sometimes you need to just take your wife out of here, take her to a hotel, take her out of the country, and you all sit down and enjoy some time together. So I agree with you. Even if you don't leave the country, just drive up to some part of the island that you're on, and just enjoy some time where you sit down and just connect once more. Lovers do it. Lovers always wanting to spend time until they get married. Michelle, according to research by Dr. Victor Carand, that big name, who conducted in 2025, understanding cultural differences in relationship is one of the many factors therapists need to consider in guiding clients towards more fulfilling relationships. This can provide valuable insights and tools to help. Factors such as communication styles, family expectations, gender roles, and emotional expression, and cultural values influence every aspect of relationship. I will look for that. Yep. If you have a link for that research, Michelle, it will be much appreciated. Alright, okay. So my dear Guyana people, I am in your space. Looking forward to see those of you who I can meet before I depart on Thursday. I want to thank you all very much for your hospitality. People have been very good to me. I've been fed, watered, I've been corralled. I mean, it has been really awesome. Right, and I go home, I came as a guest, and it looks like I'm going home as cargo. So much they're giving me to eat. Alright? So, thank you all very much. God bless you, and we'll see you all next week, God's willing. See you later.
Set my feet on a solid rock to stay.
Thankful for my warriors who pray me through the testament. Calling on my warriors, calling on my warriors. Everything me put me hands to doing it full 100. Time to praise the Lord, we say we praising him full 100. Working in the ministry, we working it full 100. Working it full 100, working it full 100. Everything we put we hands to doing it full 100. Time to praise the Lord, we say we praising him full 100. Working in the ministry, we working it full 100. Working it full 100. Working it full 100.
Lord, I'm glad you know my name. You set my heart aflame. You set my feet on a solid rock to stay. I'm glad I've made this choice. You've given me a voice, and now I can rejoice.
DJ, turn that music up, yes, turn it up louder. Never make it stop, take the message to the border. This is how we do it, cause we talk the truth to power. Walking in the spirit, walking in the water. Happy that we blessed. Full 100, walking in forgiveness. Full 100, healing from disease. Full 100, totally redeemed. Full 100, strength to the youth. Full 100, friendly with the truth. Full 100, free from oppression. Full 100, always on a mission. Full 100.
Lord, I'm glad you know my name. You set my heart aflame. You set my feet on a solid rock to stay. I'm glad I've made this choice. You've given me a voice, and now I can rejoice.
Watch it move. They call me Mr. Diligent. When me ways are please the Lord, I'm dining with the president. Thankful for the warriors who praise me through the testament. Praise me through the testament. Praise me through the testament. Everything we put we have to doing it full 100. Time to praise the Lord, we say we praising him full 100. Working in the ministry, we working it full 100. Working it full 100.